You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
This is Shut Up and Get a Customer here on KLRN Radio. Sales insights for those looking for an unreasonable amount of success. Featuring Dan Jordan, the sales energizer. Online at remedysalesmatch.com. Dan Jordan's advice, shut up and get a customer. Find out more at remedysalesmatch.com.
New guy, Nick. What do you think? We're back again. Every time they think that the last time we do a show, they always think this is going to be your last one. But they realize, you don't realize that because I have one person who comes on Facebook Live, you know, it's a big event. So it comes, wow, so new guy Nick, we got a big day today.
Yeah, we got a full house.
I can't believe it. We have our normal run-of-the-mill guy, Larry Towner. Say hello.
Hello.
That is Larry Towner. His goal here, new guy Nick, is just to keep me on track.
It is. It's a big job.
No offense.
It's a big job.
Last few shows, you know, we've gotten a little, you know.
Yeah, we killed it
without you.
I spent the last 2 weeks out looking at colleges. I went to Nick. Never mind. Keep going.
University of Nick. But even more importantly, I've got a good friend of mine from a million years ago, and we've stayed in touch ever since. He's one of those people that, you know, you meet. You ever have these people in school or in grade school or in high school, and they accumulate friends? Yeah. And then they just keep in touch with them forever. That's him, my friend here, Bill Kovac, who's a rock star. Well, why don't you tell him what you do?
I do all sorts of training, mostly Excel training, computer training, software training, things of this nature, and also, which dovetails into your training, is marketing training also.
Which is exactly what people need, because without marketing, you get no people who call the phone, and then you get what? No, what do you get lack of there, Larry Towner?
I don't know.
Customers. You just get no customers. Jeez. You're officially fired.
We develop
this show
customers.
is for individuals, entrepreneurs, and solopreneurs who want an unreasonable amount of success. You need one thing and one thing only. You know what that is, new guy Nick?
What is that,
You need a bloody customer. It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing that business people, small business people, large people who are trying to get a job, all these people, they forget their main goal is to get a customer. Get somebody who's going to listen to what you have to say and buy it. That's all.
That's it.
And if you could just do that one thing, your life will be so much better. But with that said, you know what time it is, new guy Nick?
I don't know. You're going to tell us, though, aren't you?
There we go. We got rocky music. It's okay. You can enjoy it. Yeah,
that's impressive.
It's time for the Jim Rohn Quote of the Week, which is an awesome one this week. Bill, you remember Jim Rohn? You remember?
For sure.
He was a big guy that we used to follow.
Tony Robbins' mentor.
Yes,
absolutely,
and
really
really good. He's very like Tony Robbins, but just more methodical, I should say. Doesn't jump around as much.
Which is odd. By the way, the group that I'm with right now, this is the loudest. I usually have to be loud, you know, but you guys are just monsters. And by the way, everybody in this room is 6'3" or something like that. I'm like a shrimp cocktail here. It's terrible. Okay, here it is. Jim Rohn Quote of the Week. If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. That's good stuff.
Yeah,
It's absolutely the truth.
it's absolutely the truth.
You know, you're a big excuse maker. You're always late all the time.
Nick, comments?
Always
His mic goes dead. Wow,
Well,
great.
that's true. Well, you know my thing. The
Equipment
only
fault.
excuse for being late is you didn't leave early enough. That's
10-4.
it. You know?
10-4.
And
So what was your excuse today?
no excuse. I didn't leave early enough.
It's never traffic. It's never leaving early enough.
It's never not talking into the microphone.
Oh, yeah, that's
it's,
true.
Right. It's true because if you left yesterday,
Right.
you would have been here on time. You, by the way, Bill, are the biggest traffic complainer in the history of mankind.
I'm a wimp.
Oh, God, all he talk. You ever meet these people just get really upset? When they're driving, if they get any form of traffic. What are you, on mute today there, new guy, Nick?
I'm over here trying to get ready for. I'm doing a lot of things.
He's
right
doing
now.
his
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Leave him
I'm doing
alone.
my thing.
The poor
So
lad.
But no, yes, I agree with you. Yeah, I get sometimes in the car. I just want to pull over and turn the car off and just scream sometimes. Yeah.
So my son, actually today, he's 17 now. You know Matthew.
Uh-huh.
And so Matthew, I guess he's thinking about his future. Big deal. And so he's driving to school today, and all of a sudden I get a phone call. So immediately I'm thinking accident. Why else is he going to call me on the way there? But apparently there's a store that has motivational signs that they put up as he's driving to school, and he kind of liked this one, so he called me, and he gave me a little bit of motivation. Isn't that good?
Yeah.
I
Your
guess
son is giving you motivation.
right, but I guess he's just thinking he's trying to pick the things in life that worked for him and throw out the rest or whatever. But I guess getting a little bit of, every morning I go see I go, Matthew, make today your best day ever. Very annoying. Kids hate it. But I think they kind of like it because if I forget to do it, they're like, hey, what's going on? Is something wrong with you?
You feeling all right, Dad?
And so Matthew calls me up today and he says, Daddy, I'm going to put on my glasses on top of my glasses.
God.
Isn't that terrible? You see that? I put my glasses on top.
I did that for a long time.
He said, here's a sign. Because I'm too proud to get bifocals. So instead I look like a flipping moron here. With
Get progressives. Get progressives. Trust me.
Anyway, he says, Daddy, I read this sign today. You might like it. He says, you didn't wake up this morning to be mediocre.
See?
Amen to that.
Gosh.
Amen to that.
You know
Very
what?
motivating.
You know what? You have something to be proud of in the fact that your son, who's only 17, even reads that sign, yet alone understands what it means.
Yeah, he liked
Right?
it, and he was compelled enough to call me and tell me about
I think
it.
that's awesome.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, that's
Good.
awesome.
Let's give me a round of applause. Do you have any applause here? Do you have anything? Wait, hold on. Let new guy Nick earn his living here, and we can go on from there.
That
was even better than I think the sound effect.
It was.
Right?
Well, that's
that's much better.
that's better.
And your timing's impeccable. Oh my gosh, about as good as they get. All right, very good. All right, well, listen, I think it's about time we bring on the topic today, which is dealing with sales failure.
I'm questioning this one.
Questioning?
I am.
Well, question away.
Because how do you fail? Didn't we have a Jim Rohn quote on failure?
You testing me now?
Isn't that the job? Isn't that part of my job?
Well,
Keep
listen,
going.
the reason why most people don't get into their own business or don't get into the sales profession is because they're afraid of
failure.
The failure.
Right.
So obviously it's on their mind, and it does happen. I mean, it's not like you're going to sell everybody. Not everybody buys for a million different reasons. In your business,
They don't buy today.
Mm-hmm.
They don't buy today.
That's the key.
So
if you talk to somebody once, that's a potential sale. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe several years down the road.
And
But
even
you start the relationship.
And look at your case. You don't close everybody, right? Do you ever stay in touch with them and contact them later and end up selling?
All right, so I got a story.
Go ahead.
Okay, so usually we do the sales story of the week later.
That's right.
But this
We'll do
is
it now.
probably going to fit in well, and then we could finish up after on the second half. But the idea is I called a guy. It was actually a cold call. Not really a sale, but it's a cold call. You're just trying to make contact. So I called the guy, and I said, we're a temporary staffing firm. Deal especially with inside salespeople, anything we can help you out. And he talked, and he said, and he asked this question. He said, what's your sales philosophy? Isn't that good?
Oh, that is good.
That's like
It's an important thing to know.
Yeah,
I think.
He was obviously a sales trainer or what have you, and he was looking to hire some people. And Bill and I used to be stockbrokers, so we're big fans of cold calling.
Yeah, got it.
We used to sit next to each other. Who was better, by the way, at cold calling?
Oh, gosh. You were the best in the office. Easily.
Nobody could, not because
Couldn't
I knew
touch you.
Nobody could touch. One guy, remember Keeler?
He was a newbie.
Yeah, he was.
So he was real motivated.
Right.
Tell him that story.
Yeah, well, he was trying to, he was trying to beat me, right? So like 1 week, he made more calls than I did or something
and the
like
sales
that.
manager? Okay.
And the sales manager came up to me and said something, and I just laid down the hammer.
You went crazy. Took it to a whole new level.
I think I drove the guy out of business. Anyhow,
we were talking about this guy's sales philosophy.
So I called him. He said, "What's your sales philosophy?" So first thing, I want to make a good impression. I'm just kind of joking around with him, and I said, "Well, the first thing is you have to use a lot of drugs." and see, you're laughing, which is great. And then I went on. I said, "No, really, I'm old school. It's Jim Rohn. It's Tony Robbins. It's Dale Carnegie. It's all this stuff." And I went through my philosophy. And then at the end, I said, "Listen, why don't we just get together? And we'll see if we can work together. If it's something I can help you with, I'll let you know. If I can't, I'll let you know that too." Yeah. And he said, "No, I don't think so." I really didn't like the drug comment. He goes, "Listen, I know that you were just joking around. And I know that you're trying to make this thing, but, you went over the line, and I think you're going to present people that will do that stuff, too, and I'm just not comfortable with it."
All right.
That, my friend,
is somebody you recontact in 3 months.
Is a failed call. Well, how are you going to deal with it? But that was a failed call. Now, the question I have for myself, what do you do? Do you change your whole strategy? Do you change your whole personality? Or do you, to impress this person? Or do you move on? And I think we'll cover that when we get back. What do you think of that, new guy, Nick?
I think it's a good thing to talk about.
Listen, in the meantime, I want you to go to my website, dan@danjordan.com. Fill out, get the newsletter, tips and tricks that are going to make you an awesome salesperson, but even better, an awesome person. It's not what you learn there, Bill Kovac. It's who you become. And we'll see you on the other side.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls? Start saving thousands in interest and fees and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1246. 800-826-1246. That's 800-826-1246. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
My friends, you're listening to Dan Jordan, the Sales Energizer, right here on KLRN Radio. Head to RemedySalesMatch.com after the show, but only if you want an unreasonable amount of success. And no purchase required. Free information, folks. You just can't beat it. Now, back to more of Shut Up and Get a Customer, right here on KLRN Radio.
I'm telling you, how many radio shows can you listen to that the bumper music is Marvin Gaye?
Who cares? There's only one radio show to listen to. This one.
I say the best kind of radio shows.
That's right. Well, we're back here. We're back here at Shut Up and Get a Customer with my two best friends here, Bill Kovac, the world's best Excel sales trainer, or Excel trainer. Mm-hmm. That's what it is, Excel?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You know, Excel's one of those things that everybody uses, but everybody uses like 1/10 of what it can do.
Oh, my God. That's absolutely the truth.
You know, and can you do those, the equations? Can you do equations?
Yeah, formulas and functions?
Do you know how to talk into the microphone?
I can hear myself. All right. Okay. Formulas and functions, yes. I know how to do formulas and functions.
To the four listeners, it's going to sound like you're in a cave somewhere. If you're okay. You know, what would happen if I'm trying to do Excel and I'm 6 feet from the keyboard?
Yeah, that would not be good.
In your case, it would be better. But anyway.
You won't mess anything up.
But, there's always one person in the office that knows how to do everything.
Yes.
It's an important person. And so, like, whenever anything gets, Margie, quick, or a Ginger. Mine, in my case, is Ginger, what do I do here?
All right.
Can you put together even spreadsheets make me nauseous.
Right. Well, one of the things that's interesting is how I got it. People ask me how I got into the whole business and everything. And one of the coolest things was that it didn't actually start with Excel. It started with Photoshop. Okay, so really? I'm looking at everyone. And the funny thing is in starting off in the speaking business, I would always need logos, and things like that. Yeah. And I'd always chum up with people that were good with Photoshop because they could do graphics. And one time I met a gal from Savannah Art and Design. Immediately, first question I'm asking her, do you know how to use Photoshop? And she goes, yeah. I go, can you help me do a logo or something along that line? And then she said something really interesting to me. She goes, have you ever tried to do it yourself? And I go, do what? And she goes, learn Photoshop. You keep doing all this. And it was like, it clicked with me. And she said, you seem was the key word there. Seem smart enough to be able to do it. Why don't you just roll up your sleeves? And it was tough. And I actually ended up doing video. I got this is back in the days of VCRs and everything, and got really good with it. And it just opened up everything else. In dovetailing with your dealing with failure, a lot of it may be taking it upon yourself to learn and focus on it, because you can overcome everything. And I'll end with this. One of my favorite quotes, have you all ever heard of Thomas Carlyle?
No.
Okay, that makes 4. I'd never heard of him either. Anyways, he apparently was like the Ben Franklin, Mark Twain in Scotland, okay? And he said this quote that's great. So another like Jim Rohn quote, but it's, let me get this right. I don't want to butcher it. It's, true education starts when all the teachers and professors are done with you. And I think that's very interesting.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's
You've probably think about how much of this did you learn in school?
Oh yeah, very true.
Think about it. How,
I learned the basics, and the rest you figure out by doing it.
Right, exactly.
And by messing up and screwing up and fixing it the next time.
Is that how we learn sales? We hate to learn sales. We hate to learn sales that way, but isn't that the way you learn?
The way you get more customers is by talking to more people and failing more. Those who fail more and getting their customers will get a lot more than those who give up.
Well, I'm going to put one caveat on that, right? You have to fail, but you have to pay attention to how you failed so that you don't do it again. And we were talking about, you said about the drug comment, right? So did you learn from that?
The first rule, there's 4 rules. There's 4 rules. Write these down. Stop your car. Stop what you're doing. You got to write these down. There's 4 ways right now to overcome these little mini failures that happen throughout the day. First is to take complete and utter responsibility for it.
Correct.
It was 100% my fault. I said that joke. It works, 90%. It worked great with you, goofball. Just didn't work with him.
Right.
And you guys aren't paying me either, so I was kind of. But
there you go.
Whatever it was, I'm taking responsibility. And then number 2 is you take the choice You have to start making this. First of all, understand, recognize you made a mistake, you did something, and then don't care about it anymore. You're done.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not going to really find out why. I mean, I could probably go to, the guy had a bad day, or I had a bad day, or maybe I was off for the wrong day.
Yeah, just get over it. Next.
Who cares?
Right.
You could, have a little pity party for about a minute. It's fine. I lost the deal. It could have been a good deal. And you could spend hours talking to yourself, well, I didn't want it anyway.
Don't overanalyze is your point. Yeah. Don't spend too much time overanalyzing, right?
You can do it for a minute because you're human, and it's okay to you feel sorry for yourself for a second. But then right after that, number 3, and this is the big one, start coming up with solutions.
Ooh. Yeah.
Ask yourself, what should I do about it?
Right.
And just come up with ideas. So I'm going to ask you, Bill Cohen, what do you think I should do about it? I'm not that I'm going to take your advice. I'm not going to, but just basically solicit options of what you should do. So there's my situation. Tell me, give me an option. What's one thing I could do?
Wile E. Coyote, go back to the drawing board and make it funnier, more ridiculous, so it won't be implied. You'll have no problems with the implications.
Yeah, so they doesn't think I'm serious about it. Very good. There's an option. What about you?
One of the other things is that, so a different question is, how many times do you actually get asked for your sales philosophy? Maybe this is a qualifying question on the prospect's part, so you don't throw the drugs thing out, right? I mean, just people ask me my sales philosophy very, very rarely. I like to put forth my sales philosophy largely because in our business, honesty is blah, 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 and so forth and so on. So I like to put it forth. But how many times does somebody ask you for it? Is that a qualifying question for you as to what your response is at that point?
Right. You need to be prepared for that. What about you, new guy? I got an idea?
I mean, the simplest thing is just cut that one out of your repertoire. Just for the sake of, you go, you know what? He makes a great point. That someone else could take it no matter how you phrase it. Even like you said, if you try to make it better, it doesn't matter. Just try and stay away from those buttons. Right. Sometimes that's the best option.
And another option could be, these are all great. Another one would be, you know what? Do nothing. I'm myself. The fact is, the guy's going to he's going to dig me or not, and I'll move on. Really?
Yeah.
30%.
Well,
and back to your point, it works 90% of the time. What's 10%? What's 10%? Right in marketing, right?
Anyway, come up with ideas, and they're all good, and you got something there. But think in terms of what can I do, and in that whole time that we're talking about ideas like there, not one person was even thinking, oh, I can't believe you did that, or you ruined it, or you're going to miss that customer. It's just, when you come up with ideas, negative thought goes out of your mind. It just disappears. You can't do two things at once. You can't feel bad for yourself and come up with solutions at the same time. If you forget everything else I've said here today, that will earn you. That was good. Okay, number 4, I know for you people, I had one guy who called me after listening to the show, and he said, you told me you were going to give me 5 points here, and you only gave 4, and he was ticked off.
Well, there's another one. Think about it. It's the solutions. Next time you say you're going to give 4, give 4.
That's my job, is to keep him on track.
Yeah, we said, it's been a little.
It's the problem. We have a very short period of time here together. You just don't realize it.
Successful people make mistakes. Sometimes I say 5 when there's only 4. All right. But there is a 4th for this one, and it's an important one. And that is, after you come up with that solution, take action.
Implement. Yep.
Yeah, implement the whole thing. So if your idea was be prepared for that rare question that comes to you that says, what's your sales philosophy? Be prepared. Write it down what you're going to say next time. You'll have it there right in front of you. If it hits you, you go from there. When we would cold call, it was the same thing. If someone said, I'm sorry, I'm not interested, what would you say?
Oh. You're not interested in that? When you invest... Gosh, this has been a while. When you invest...
Well, it has been. It's been 20 years.
What do you do when you invest? But you got to hit the do in a certain inflection.
Yeah. Well, when you do invest... When you do invest, what's been successful for you in the past? No matter what they say.
Right.
Because we were prepared for that. We knew exactly what they were going to say there.
Because you had never heard that before, I'm sure.
What types of companies do you work with when you're doing the Excel training?
Well, I do a lot of other training. I try to, once again, get people focused because it seems like Excel is the one where I can go into any company and it's like, we need Excel. But, all the other, I mentioned Photoshop before, kind of got me on this whole software thing. But Outlook, PowerPoint, Microsoft Access, which is a database program. But the companies I've been with, or like Coca-Cola, I did them earlier this year. I did a really cool one. It was the oh gosh, it isn't TSA. It's the I can't even think of that now. But also
some military thing.
Yeah, no, it was Air Marshals, Federal Air Marshals down at Hartsfield. It was intense. Everyone was armed. And they're all accurate shooters.
Don't screw up.
I mean, that was a scary seminar because if you mess up, bad things can happen. So anyway.
See, there's a point where you do not want to fail. Don't.
And the drug conversation would not go over there well.
That's a very good point. Valid point.
You have to overcome that thing. Well, thank you so much for listening. Larry Towner,
yes, sir.
You've been a big help. Thank you so much, keeping us all on track. Bill Kovac is here with, what's the name of the company, by the way?
AtlantaExcelTraining.com.
AtlantaExcelTraining.com. So if somebody goes to AtlantaExcelTraining.com, they'd get there.
Videos and everything.
But if not, go to my website. I'm the Deej, Dan Jordan. Go to the website, danjordan.com. There's a U in there. And please sign up for the newsletter. If you think this is good, imagine seeing my face on your screen once a week. You do that, and you'll make your life so much better. I'm the Deej. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Shut up and get a customer, will ya?
You've been listening to Shut Up and Get a Customer with Dan Jordan, the Sales Energizer, your source for insight in business, sales, and life. Connect online at RemedySalesMatch.com. And remember, good fortune is at your fingertips. You just have to focus on one thing. So shut up and get a customer. RemedySalesMatch.com.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign. Hey, KLRN Radio family, this is Joey Wensler of Wens World. Take a trip with me every single Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. An excursion to Wens World, where variety reigns.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.